Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do the last issue of Alice Never After. This is the volume 2 in the series. It's been a while and now we're going to take a look at it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the story, and after I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you what I think about it. There's some things I like, there's some things I don't like. We're going to go through it. So, Alice wanted to marry the White Rabbit, but there's a reason why he's also late and always needs to go away, because, well, he had obligations outside of the palace, right? And so Alice acknowledged that, right? I suppose I should have mentioned my family at some point lately. I've been a little bit overwhelmed. She says, how many children do you have? It's 117, but it was last week's number. So, and also then, I don't know, Mama Reddit comes in, right? And she acknowledged that, well, there's maybe a baby for her on the way. But then Alice, stupid as she is, how did you know? Well, maybe because you have a fat stomach. And even the Dodo, I thought it was too many small and tall cookies. I really misjudged the entire situation. Congratulations? Question mark. Yeah, this whole all these creatures. It's all in her head, by the way. For those who are new to my channel, she has brain damage. It happened in the last issue. Some horrible things happened there, and in the real world, her family takes care of her, but her father is the bad guy, actually, right? Because he's one of the reasons that she's been this way for a very long time. And this Cheshire cat is actually representing her father and also the danger or the bad guy in Wonderland. Although that's one of my criticisms, there's not really anything bad going on, but there's a lot of manipulation and psychological warfare going on, which is, for me, the most interesting part of the story. Cheshire Cat, what are you doing here? She says. I just heard the news and I'm here to lend a helping paw. I sincerely doubt that. So Dodo says, hey, maybe we should go back to the castle, right? And then she says, maybe I should just move in with the White Rabbit and his family. It's perfect. They seem very capable of managing a British lodge. What's one more baby at this point? We could all live happily ever after. Why would you say that? But then the smart one, the rabbit, says, Alice, as much as I cherish my time with you, you need to create your own nest, your own burrow. And she also, but Mama Rabbit says, I don't know how to raise a human baby. But then we see this transformation again. It's all in her head, right? Of course you would. Look at you both. You're rabbits. It's ridiculous to even consider such a thing. I, on the other hand, have the perfect solution. I'll handle everything. You won't have to lift a finger. What do you know about raising children? You're a cat. Am I, though? So she repeats it, but then he cuts her off and says, let's not dwell on the negative. You don't want to raise the baby. Look at the White Rabbit. He's a disaster. Always running to and fro, constantly late. Is he ever on time? Do you want that sort of life? I can't imagine you do. But then Rabbit defends himself. It's not easy raising a family. Exactly. It's not easy. And Alice likes things easy. Don't you, Alice? She says nothing has been easy lately. So Dodo says, maybe we should go back to the castle again. But then we go to the real world. Well, Alice lying here, and her father is, baby wants to take the baby away, right? And raise the baby himself for reasons, right? Because he has a name, right? Because he's a famous dentist, and it couldn't be ruined, all right? But then the good sister comes in. He says, can I have a word with my sister? A word? Either the dear can barely understand her nursery rhyme. Father, that's not a very nice thing to say. I love these photos or pictures or paintings, here in the background. Please indulge your daughter. Can I have a moment with her? But he's, like I said, he's the bad guy, and don't fill her head with any sort of additional nonsense. She's dealing with enough as it is. I told you and Earl that I would take care of this. Father knows best. Right. Why is he not in prison? Uh, he did some horrible things in the volume one. Alice, I need you to come back to us. I heard Father discussing an orphanage, despite Earl and I adopting your soon-to-be child. He doesn't want the family name to be besmirched in any way. It's always the family's reputation when it comes to his business with the royal patriarchs. Hello, Edith. Yeah, she's nuts. Hello, Alice. I spoke with Dr. Madsen. He said there is a possibility that you could find a way to change the way you think, to be yourself again. He says it's possible. Yeah, so basically, Dr. Madsen was also responsible for damage, having experimented on her brain, the old-fashioned way, and he's now in prison, and Edith, visit him for solutions. She says, I know you're in there somewhere, but you have to find a way to come back. I think the reason is clear enough. Only you can save your child from our father. So going back to this sneaky bastard, man. I don't know if I want to go back to the castle, she says. But Alice, it's your home. You're the queen. Maybe one of the suitors has stayed 1 and 2, and you can raise the child of yours together. But then she says, I don't want to get married to an ostrich or fish or even a handsome tiger. What do you say? Is there some fairy thing going on? I'm not sure what I was thinking when I chased after the white rabbit. Everything is so confusing lately. It hurts to think about it at all. You should try doing what I do in situations like this. Don't think. So Cheshire Cat comes in. Brilliant advice. Don't think. Leave the thinking to me. I love thinking. It's all I do sometimes. Think. Why would I leave my life up to you? Why? She says. Because. The smug face. Because? Yes, because I know what's best for you. I always have. I know what you always truly wanted above all else, and I can give it to you too. You do you? And what is that exactly? You want to stay in Wonderland forever, and I can make that wish come true. I can make sure the baby has a wonderful home with me, while you attend tea parties and on birthdays with the likes of Toad and Fox. What could be better? But then Rabbit comes in. I don't want to overstep my bounds, but I think Alice would make a lovely mother. How dare you try to rob her of that? Please, look at you, White Rabbit. You're going to tell Alice that you would rather be here changing diapers and cleaning up after all of these babies than living in a castle with every manner of distraction at your disposal? I wouldn't be so eager to rush back home otherwise. Honey bunny, there's a bit of an accident. I think Jeremy ate the spoiled carrot. Excuse me a moment. Which was Jeremy again, dear? See what I mean? You don't want this kind of life. Wonderland is the life for you. Let me handle this baby business. You can stay here, happy as can be. But then she says, I have a better idea. You stay, and I'll go. And everyone says, what? I'll go? Where? Rabbit, where's the exit? Is there a passageway out or not? There is, technically speaking. Follow me. So they're going here. This is the maze, by the way. No one has ever made of the way of the maze, ever. So, of course, he's using his devilishly charms to convince Alice to, stay. So unless you want to spend the rest of your life wondering about some spooky maze, maybe we should go back to the drawing boards and square away in this little baby business of yours. It's true, Alice, we've never seen anyone return from the maze. But maybe that's because they did escape back home. She kisses him goodbye. Goodbye, dear friend. I miss you. I miss all of you. And then she's going into the maze with the dodo. Alice, wait. As a member of the royal court, it's my sworn duty to watch all over you. To watch you over. Very well, Dodo, but I think I can do this. Every maze has an in and out. But they're wondering and wondering. She says, I got some bad news. Bad news? Oh, no. We are officially lost, are we? Very lost. All right, so they stuck. This is hopeless, just hopeless. I never get back home. I love the drawings, by the way. It has this charm, I think. Dan Panosian's art and the other artist, Giorgio Spalletta, with Cyril Glirum, they complement each other really well. In volume 1, I have a little bit problem with that. But then now looking in hindsight, going from, because it's part in her head and part, in the real world, I think that's cool. I like that, but I wish, but it's more personal opinion, that only one artist should do the book. Period. But I know why they did this, because this artist has a more cartoony style, while then Panosian has a more quote unquote realistic style. And you have to have some cartoony ridiculousness in this Wonderland scenario. So I see that. Look, Alice, some signs. Maybe they can help you. At least, hooray! I knew we kept at it, that fate would intervene. Oh, of course, these are the directions. Why am I so naive? You are not naive. You have hearts, Alice, real hearts. Most people lead with their head and not with their hearts. But that's what makes you so special. You truly are the queen of hearts. I like this. That's good writing. So, what does your heart tell you? That I must protect the child I carry with me. And to grow up. Maybe that's the answer. She says, well, if it only was that easy. If I could just magically grow up and leave this maze. But there's rules to a maze. Look at these walls, she says. You know, you can break the rules. You created this maze. You created all of this. You created Wonderland. Alice, you can leave anytime you want. Wait, what? Why did you just tell her that earlier instead of now? I can do this. I can break the rules, break the walls. Or I could just change my perspective. So then all her friends are here suddenly, magically appearing. Goodbye, Alice. Goodbye. So they departing, or they say goodbye to each other, and she's departing from this magical Wonderland into the real world, I guess. How long has Alice been asleep? Nearly all day. So this is the bad sister. She's on the side of her evil father. Good news, everyone, he says, quoting Futurama. Hulda is being released from the wretched prison, and thanks in large parts to me, she will be the net headmistress of an orphanage I endowed, the Ludwig Home for Children. So, a little bit of context. Hulda was the bad guy woman in Volume 1. You know, she did horrible things. How on earth, Hulda? She should be locked up for the rest of her life. Well, that seems a bit harsh. Everyone makes mistakes, and in my opinion, in the opinion of the court, she was a pawn of Dr. Madsen, but they were working with each other, right? They were in cahoots. Hoodley was completely exonerated, and as fate would have it, Dr. Madsen, most likely in a moment of self-reflection, has taken his own life. Yeah, right. Suicide by way of potent oleander tea. Yeah. No accident at all. But then, oh no, tragic. This works out regarding Alice's little inconvenience. I won't be inconveniencing anyone anymore. Alice, you seem better. I can't believe my eyes. Alice, you're back. What's going on here? It feels like such a curious dream, but it's time to wake up. That's the end of the book. And we see this rabbit looking probably at the house and not the tree. We don't see the arms, we don't see the face, which is a little bit creepy. The end? Definitely not. I'm not entirely sure it's going to be a volume 3, but it has to. You know, this is too open-ended. I wish it had been a little bit more definitive ending, but, you know, reading the story from, you know, issue 2 now, I realize there's way more story to be told here. She needs to give birth to her children. You know, we have to deal with her corrupt, creepy father and other stuff as well. So yeah, maybe we're gonna see that, maybe not. So what do I think about this whole? Well, I give you a little bit of my thoughts through the review. What I think it is this. Just like in Volume 1, Hulda was the villain in Volume 1. The father mostly here, but not really. I think this is what's happening in Alice's head. It's more like I think this is more like a journey than, you know, you have an antagonist and a good person, you know, and, you know, defeating the bad guy. It's not really what this is. Like I said before, I think this is more like a psychological, I'm not sure thriller is probably not the right word, but it has some very unsettling aspects about people that has been damaged mentally, right? And in other ways, and how to deal with certain situations. So I think the psychological aspect, especially the manipulation part, is very interesting. But, it has also a little bit of horror factor, when in volume 1, a doctor operated her and give her brain damage. That's a big thing. So yeah, it has a lot of elements, a little bit of a horror, like a lot of psychological, not really a clear antagonist, although you can say the father is the antagonist here. But we're going to see. I realize it's not for everyone, this book, but there is something about this that is enjoyable to me to read because it's different than anything else I've read. But it's been displayed as cutesy and fun, but has a lot of underlying, tones that makes this book interesting to me. So yeah, it's weird, but also fun. If that makes any sense, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this. See you next time. Bye bye.